did you learn? Continued, hedge against inflation. Basically, if you put your money into a savings account at 0.55% interest, which is, I believe, the highest you'll get, your money's worth less than it was a year ago. Because if inflation is 6% a year, and that means it's worth 6% less than it was last year. So crypto, especially this one crypto on the screen, Ethereum, can actually be deflationary, meaning there's less of it in existence than there was previously. And they do this, and again, by doing this, it makes it more reasonable to keep your money stored as crypto than it does to keep it stored as cash. All right. So the US dollar left the gold standard by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, June 5th, 1933. And then Nixon fully took us out of the gold standard. So basically it became what's known as fiat money, and it's just worth as much as we have in supply, basically. And there's a whole, I'm not going to get into it because we're not really going into the macroeconomics of this right now, but basically the more of something there is, the less valuable it is. Simple as that. So that's why the money printer goes brr. Again, I try to make this fun, have a little bit of things here and there. Cryptocurrencies. Blockchain technology was introduced in 2008. What does that even mean? What does blockchain technology mean? It's a growing list of records or transactions, and they keep them in blocks. Blockchain. Done. Like, it's just an organized way of keeping information. So then you'll hear the pop phrase, buzzword of decentralization. What does that mean? It really means that the information is distributed across a group so that no one place has all the power, and that if something happens to that one thing, that the whole network doesn't go down. So to give you an example here, here on the left side, you can see that this is the center right here is controlling everything else. Is this like a spoke on a wheel? If you take that out, all of this falls. This is a little bit less centralized, so this is decentralized. And if you take out this, you can see that these other dots can still function. This is basically the way that crypto, especially Bitcoin and whatnot, operate, so that there's no single point of error, so point of failure. There's no single throat to choke. You will hear that term a lot too, that phrase, throat to choke. In general, I mean, in the future, you'll hear it more now that I said it. This is a chart that's, to me, again, points out the importance of what I was saying about this is going to be your life. Like, blockchain is not going anywhere. If in this chart, you can see that this white line represents the technology. It's for the use of internet. So this is internet users. If you look at this gold line here, and you can see my pointer, right? Yes. Okay. Making sure. So we're actually, the rate of blockchain and crypto adoption is actually higher than the rate of internet adoption. So this is actually going to be faster. The onset and use of blockchain technology will be faster than use of internet. So again, imagine not using the internet 20 years ago, or imagine how it was 20 years ago versus now. Imagine not placing an order on Amazon, or not watching Netflix, or XYZ. It's a completely different life, and that's how it's going to be in 10 years. So why not get ahead of the game and learn about it now, and get situated and own quote unquote stock, or own assets that are going to increase in value. So what is Bitcoin? It's basically digital gold. They'll say Satoshi Nakamoto, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I believe I am. They said he created it because he put his name on this white paper, just like a detail of how Bitcoin operates and what Bitcoin is. He is the author of the Bitcoin white paper as to how it functions. Nobody knows who he is. And I won't say nobody, but the people who do know who this person is aren't telling. They are not telling anybody. He is most likely a multi-billionaire, if not trillionaire. I don't know. I guess all of Bitcoin is worth about 1 trillion right now. So he's a multi-billionaire most likely. Yeah, he created blockchain technology, or at least Bitcoin. And since 2012, Bitcoin has increased by 464,000%. So it went from $10 to, as of 3 days ago, it was $54,900. I told my mom that, and she's like, what, how do I get that? I'm like, well, it's a little, it's not that it's late, but it's not going to, you'll get, 5-fold or 3-fold, but it won't be, 400, and 64% increase with just Bitcoin. So if you look at this, and this is a chart that I have from TradingView, I made this chart, and I'll explain about TradingView and how to read charts later on. But this shows you again how it went from like $10 or no dollars to, what it's at. So this is a statue of Satoshi Nakamoto. Again, nobody knows what he looks like. So they put a gold statue. It's located in Budapest. So they inaugurate this on September 16th. They just opened this in Budapest. So now we get to Ethereum. So Ethereum is a technology platform. What does that mean? It means that you can run applications on it, and they don't, instead of a phone app, they call it a DApp. All it is decentralized application. So the guy pictured right here, his name is Vitalik Buterin. It's a mouthful. I think he's Canadian, but he's like Russian heritage. His dad or his parents told him about Bitcoin. He learned all about it, and he went to school, and he was like, let me do these things with Bitcoin and see what it can do. Well, it wasn't able to do certain complex things, certain complex functions. It kept failing. He was like, what? So he created Ethereum in 2015 with a bunch of friends, and he became the youngest billionaire I think a few years ago, like 2 years ago or something, or even actually it's a few months ago, I think, because I think when Bitcoin spiked, he became a billionaire at 27. So because he was able to see that Bitcoin couldn't do certain things, it really is just digital gold. It is older technology now, believe it or not, it's like 10 years old. Because he was able to make crypto smarter. It's basically like having a computer that can run an application versus just having an application. So it would be the comparison would be like Bitcoin is like a calculator app, but Ethereum would be the phone that can run the calculator app. So in the past year, since last November, again, this chart, I took a screenshot and I just highlighted the areas. It's increased by 600%. It's the same thing in this complaint. Crypto holders be like 30% up, I'm 30% down, but I'm overall, they're 900% up. This is an example of Ethereum being up 630% in 1 year. Yes, there are dips. It's not a perfect line. It's not a perfect straight line, but yeah, the here to here might be like 10% or whatnot. But are you going to complain when overall you've made 630% of your investment back? Like that doesn't make sense. So examples of cryptocurrency coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, those are coins. Altcoins, I'm teaching these phrases because you'll just see them. Altcoins are everything besides Bitcoin. Ethereum is an altcoin. So pretty simple. Not Bitcoin, then it's an altcoin. Tokens, because of Ethereum, tokens are possible. Tokens are Dogecoin, Shiba Inu. There's things called stable coins. Stable coins are equal to whatever currency it's pegged against. So USDC is $1. USDT is another one that's worth $1. It's always worth whatever a dollar's worth. I didn't know there were stable coins until I started getting everything together to like write my patent and stuff for the cryptocurrency for mortgages. But that's awesome. There's no volatility if it's worth $1, right? The next thing with cryptocurrencies, it's technically a non-fungible token. What is that? You'll hear things about NFTs. They are digital assets. They could be art, like video clips, audio, multimedia, where there's sound and visual effects and stuff. So that's this a simple way to say NFTs. A lot of times it's just a picture. Talking about the bull market versus the bear market, because it's important. Right now, we're kind of in a bull market, so it's actually a good time to see the benefits of being in crypto. But like every season of everything, there is a downtrend, and then there's a bear market. But what's great is if you can buy at the bottom of the bear market, because it's going to go through cycles and come back up. So I'll show you how to maximize your profit. So you could DCA in and just let your money ride out. No problem with doing that. It will come down, but then it'll come back up again. People didn't get Bitcoin didn't get to $54,000 or $60,000 overnight. So it did have waves. Stable coins, what I mentioned before, equal to $1. It's a great way to lock in your profits. And it's way to, if you're in a bear market, if you know that the wave of losses or wave of a downtrend is coming, you lock your money away into a stable coin. So this looks like a more complicated chart than it is. But basically, just the idea is you get your money into crypto, you split it between the two of Bitcoin or Ethereum. This is just what I recommend. You could do all Bitcoins, it's whatever. And then you see which tokens or coins. So this will be like, you could be on Coinbase or another exchange. Coinbase is an exchange. These are available. So you say, okay, well, I have so much in Bitcoin, I want to swap it for ADA, which is Cardano, or I want to swap it for DOT, which is Polkadot, or I want to swap it for FTM, which is Phantom. It gets a little more complicated when you use certain tokens, but the idea is you're always going to have, you should always have some Bitcoin, you should always have some Ethereum, but you can have a little mix in here if you want to increase your investment. And then when you see things, when these start to go down as a downtrend, because that's what happens, right? If there's a large swing, you can convert it back. You say, I'm going to convert a little bit back to Bitcoin. I'm going to convert a little bit back to Ethereum. And then if there's a bear market, or if you want to cash out, you cash out. If there's a bear market coming and there's a downward trend, you could also put into stable coins. That way you're locking your profit. So you basically ride the wave. You ride the wave up here, and then before the bear market comes, or as it's about to hit, you can lock it into a stable coin, so you won't lose your profit. I actually made this based upon another one that I saw that was more Bitcoin oriented, but I believe again that Ethereum overall will be more profitable because Bitcoin's already done most of its growing. Ethereum right now is severely undervalued, and you'll hear a lot of times Ethereum killer. This coin's an Ethereum killer. Well, the reason why they're comparing it is because Ethereum is that good, or will be that good once they have some more updates that they're coming out with. So 2018 was a bear market. 2019 was the bull market. And again, we're going through another cycle where 2021 is looking like a bull market.